Good day everyone, we are the Group 8 and we are about to share our thoughts and reactions to the speech of Cory Aquino. But first, who is Corazon Aquino? Her full name is Maria Corazon Coanco Aquino, also known as Cory Aquino. She was born on January 25, 1933 in Tarlac Province. She died on August 1, 2009. Cory Aquino is the 11th president and first female president of the Philippines in February 25, 1986 to June 30, 1992. She finished her elementary year at St. Escolaticas College, Manila. In high school, she graduated at Assumption College, Manila. She finished her college education at College of Mount St. Vincent, New York, and studied law at Far Eastern University, Manila. We divided the speech into 7 parts.
When former President of the Philippines Corazon C. Aquino gave her speech to the United States Congress in 1986, she called on America for help in maintaining the freedom. While hearing those speeches of her, I was definitely trying to process what she was saying. She's trying to impose that her husband did everything to make the Philippines stand again, but that the Philippines doesn't lose its faith. The people who's against the government and the activists did. Our former President Marcos did everything for our country's best, but many impostors take their places just to ruin the President Marcos image and its way to make the Philippines better.
It was included in her speech how the task was fallen in her shoulder to continue offering the democratic alternative to the Filipinos. After her husband died, she continued fighting for the democracy of our nation. And also, she serves the Filipino people through her democratic view. Her view about democracy was inspired by Archibald MacLeish, said that every democracy must be defended by arms when it is attacked by lies.
Snap election. Last August 21, 1983, the assassination of Benigno Aquino Jr. is the beginning of Ferdinand Marcos' downfall. The US government thought that Marcos lost his credibility or control of the people, and so Marcos called for a snap election in February 7, 1986. And the people of League, they thought that Ferdinand Marcos was losing the mandate of the people, President Marcos. Then declared a snap election with over 1 million signatures. The opposition decided to have Corazon Aquino run for president and Salvador Laurel for vice president, and then Cory Aquino willingly obeyed. The people's victory and power, due to uncontrolled cheating and violence, snap election is considered a fraud. The Batasang Pambansa declared Ferdinand Marcos the winner together with his running mate Arturo Tolentino. And so the position president was given to Ferdinand Marcos, even though there is an accusation him cheating during a snap election. The defection from armed forces of the Philippines and the support of local Catholic hierarchy led to People Power Revolution that ousted Marcos and secured Aquino's accession on February 25, 1986. Both Juan Ponce Enrile and Fidel Ramos helped Cory and participated to People's Power after knowing the issue that cheating in snap election. Juan Ponce Enrile and Fidel V. Ramos turned their back on President Marcos. They managed to overthrow Ferdinand Marcos and got the freedom they want, which lead the present state of the Philippines. At the end of the day, before another wave of fraud could distort the results, I announced the People Power victory, success of People Power. Cory talked about their miraculous victory through the people's struggle and continue talking about her earlier initiatives as president of restored democracy. Cory Aquino boasted about having a restored constitutional government in which includes the Bill of Rights.
Last September 1, 1986 was the first visit of Corazon Aquino in the United States of America. After the dictator was deposed in February, she is wearing a formal dress and confidence. Cory Aquino visited America and gave a speech about the state of the Philippines. She expresses her concern about the debt of the country, which amounted to $20 billion during the Marcos regime, in which the total amounted to $26 billion. Cory honored the debt, even though these foreign debts did not benefit the Filipinos. The dictatorship brought calamity-level experience to the Filipinos, yet no assistance was yet to be extended to the Philippines. According to her, revolution in the Philippines is considered as the chiefest among all.
The communist insurgency and the economic deterioration is one of the challenges she faced as they tried to rebuild the democracy. Communist insurgency had grown throughout the Marcos era to more than 526,000 guerrillas. The aspiration of the people is the obstruction of democracy. Cory asked the U.S. Congress, Filipinos want democracy by themselves and need only to preserve it.
In 1986, dictatorship called for its doom as People of Pledge with 1 million signatures and drafted Cory as a challenge to the dictatorship. The nation was armed with courage, integrity, and willing to give their lives for democracy. Women poll watchers tied themselves to the ballot boxes. When the proposition announces victory, people are protesting. Military officials are against it. And before another wave of fraud could distort the results, Cory announced the people's victory by the end of that day. The co-chairman of the United States Observer Team report and described the victory as extraordinary manifestation of democracy on the part of Filipino people. And the ultimate result was the election of Cory Aquino as the president and Salvador Laurel as the vice president. Cory Aquino showed gratification in behalf of Filipino people for balancing America's strategic interests against human concerns, illuminates the American vision to the world. The full constitutional government means that there is an existence of constitution which may be a set of fixed norms or principles, generally accepted as a fundamental law wherein a politician can effect the control, the exercise of political power. Meanwhile, Independent Constitutional Commission was revised by Cory, has 3 main branches, the CSC, COE, and COA. They also decide which political party, Democratic or Republican, will hold a majority and the chamber of the Congress for the next 2 years.
After I read her speech, I was amazed at her courageousness despite of being a woman. She fought for our freedom and became a leader in our country. But I asked the elders about Marcos' presidency, and they really admire him till now. And I was actually even more amazed at his accomplishments. Since Americans have spent many lives and much treasure to bring freedom to many lands that were reluctant to receive it, now they have Filipinos who want it by themselves and only need help to preserve it.
Thanks for watching.